Hello and welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce myself. My name is Karina Sudarsky Glazer. I am the director of the Counseling Center, and I want to welcome you all to this session where I'm trying to share with you all that we do at the Counseling Center and the services that we provide. I'm not amazing with technology, so I want to apologize in advance for the mistakes I may make with the technology, but hopefully it will not be too bad. So if unless I'm wrong, I'm sharing my screen right now, and it is again my pleasure to be here with you. I have been at William and Mary for, I'm starting my 26th year. I usually tell students that I've been at William and Mary longer than they have been alive. And even though that makes me feel a little old, actually makes me feel a little experienced too. So hopefully that's the way they see it. The Counseling Center is located in the Integrative Wellness Center, the McClough Tyler Wellness Center, which is this amazing building in the middle of a campus that students would easily recognize. It has a very modern architecture that actually makes it very salient on our campus with all the other different style buildings, more historic buildings. So I think in a way it was built this way to make it very clear to the students that the issue of wellness is central to the university, and that we really want students to take advantage about all the services that are offered at the Integrated Wellness Center. The Counseling Center is on the second floor, and all those actually windows that you see on the second floor are the offices for our clinicians. Our number is right there on the screen, 221-3620. And students usually can either call or come in whenever they are interested in starting any therapeutic services with us. So as I said, we are on the second floor of the Integrated Wellness Center. And this first picture that you see with a water fountain, water wall, it's next to the Student Health Center, which is on the first floor as soon as the students come in through the main door. And hopefully you will learn more about the services offered at the health center. Those interesting looking lamps are, as the students walk up the stairs to come to our office, to our center, those basically lamps are next to the main stairs to our building. We offer a very warm and welcoming space for students. As you see, as soon as they come in, we have hot beverages and snacks. Sometimes we had to be without those during COVID, coming back from COVID, but now we are restarting to restock that to say to students, welcome and we care about you. And we oftentimes know that the students are running from one place to another, and they may not have had a breakfast or snack to eat. So we are trying to sustain them that way. The top office here on this picture is mine. This probably was taken early on when we moved to this building in 2018, given the number of plants. Now I have even more. It looks like the jungle. I often tell students that I use half my salary probably in plants. They laugh, but it's maybe has some validity, that statement. Anyhow, I want to share a little bit about the scope of services that we have at the counseling center. So we provide services to all students, but we are not a comprehensive mental health facility. Some students need more specialized services or more longer-term services that we are able to provide. In those cases, students can meet with our mental health services coordinator, her name is Christine, who will help them with a referral, and she would take into consideration the insurance that the student has, as well as the mental health needs. So generally speaking, we see students for individual counseling every other week and for a semester worth of time. The reason behind that is that if we were to see students more frequently for the 4 years that they are with us, probably a few students or a small number of students would receive services and others will go without. And we take an approach of social justice that by limiting the frequency and limiting the amount of time that they are in therapy, we can see more students. So more students with more limited counseling versus a few with more counseling. I hope that makes sense to you. In terms of after-hours services, because our services are, the center is open from 8 to noon and from 1 to 5, Monday through Friday. But after hours and on weekends for urgent related concerns, students can call our same number, 757-221-3620, and reach a counselor on call, or they can use the Timely Care Talk Now feature. I'm going to talk about Timely Care. I have a slide about Timely Care, so I will share more information with you at that time. But the Talk Now feature basically is any time during the day, during the night, evening, Monday through Friday, or weekend that they can reach a counselor on call. Generally speaking, our students use the counseling center for multiple reasons. Some is to continue to address issues that they have been working for a while. Another still help in relation to a more recent concern that is negatively impacting their level of functioning or their satisfaction. So generally speaking, our most common presenting concerns are, number one tends to be anxiety, and depression is number two. And this is usually seen in most counseling centers across the nation. So it's not just for William and Mary students. It used to be, certainly when I started my career, it used to be depression number one and anxiety number two. And I often ask students how come it has changed, and there are many reasons for this. I don't want to give you a whole explanation, but issues of social media, issues of competitiveness, the feeling that they need to do and achieve certain goals in order to what is next, looking at the future, and issues like that are all impacting the level of anxiety. And certainly COVID have played a role, although this change between anxiety and depression happened before COVID. So we cannot make COVID responsible for that change. Another important piece here, and I realize that I combined here too, but it's interpersonal issues is basically number three, and then it's family distress, or they are very much a pair, family distress and interpersonal concerns. So that would be connections with peers, friends, romantic relationships, etc. Then we have academic performance as one of additional presenting issues, issues of trauma, and that would be mostly past trauma that either has been worked on and is resurfacing, how that is impacting their lives, or things that they have not addressed and they now feel it's time, that given the developmental stage of being more away from home for the first time, at times triggers that need to address previous trauma. Eating and body image concerns is also salient. We even have a group that attends to those issues, and I will talk about groups in a little bit. Self-esteem and self-confidence concerns is also a frequent presenting issue. If you think about your students were at the top of their class, and now they are surrounded by students who were also at the top of their class. So now they feel more self-doubt than they may have experienced in high school. So they may feel, do I really belong here? Am I going to be able to accomplish and succeed at William & Mary, given how demanding the school is? And also, right, the issue of social media, social comparison, impacts issues of self-esteem and self-doubt. They tend to see that, oh, everyone else is having a great life because everyone is happy on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media they use, and they may start to experience that, and I'm not. What is wrong with me? When in fact they are not the only ones who are experiencing the difficulties, especially as a transition and adjusting to a new environment. Perfectionism is also salient. I'm assuming it's not a surprise to you. Perfectionism, and being a high achiever has its advantages, but perfectionism itself could bring some disadvantages and mental health related concerns and anxiety for sure, and depression. So we even have a group for perfectionism this coming year. Attention and concentration difficulties is another one that students frequently talk about. Many times is because they could be that they have an attention deficit disorder, ADD. They may have been diagnosed with attention deficit, or they have issues. They are undiagnosed, but it could also be because of other concerns that are impacting their ability to concentrate, right? For instance, lack of sleep or not enough sleep could impact attention and concentration. Any type of stress, anxiety, right, could impact that too. So we would work with the students to see what is at the root of their attention and concentration difficulties. We don't do testing at the counseling center, but we can prepare for testing if we feel that that's what's needed. So we will work with students. And adjustment and transition, as I said, many times transitioning to a new environment could feel like a lot for students. And at times we see adjustment and transition, say with seniors or at other times in their careers, for sure if they are thinking about changing a major or transitioning to a new organization, a transition to being an RA, transition to being the president of an organization. All of those things are often presented here at the council. How we work, we ask students to request an initial consultation to initiate any type of services here, or most services at the counseling center. So they can request that by either calling or walking in to our agency. For usually, there may be times during the semester that it's more difficult to get an initial consultation when, during peak times during the semester, but generally speaking, we don't have more than a 2-week wait at the most intense times of the semester. And again, with timely care, which I'm going to talk later, there are other options if that is a situation that we are at where it's more difficult to get it. I want to emphasize that for urgent needs and for emergencies, we would see the students the same day. So they will be seen. Basically, we operate a little bit at those times, like an emergency room, right? We cannot promise that we would see them right away if we are all behind closed doors with students, but they will be seen that day. Also, as I mentioned before, they can use the Talk Now feature where they can just reach via telehealth a counselor through timely care. It's important to note that when I say urgent and emergencies or emergencies, an urgent need doesn't need to be an emergency, but for instance, I need to make a decision today. And I would not, I would not want a student to have to wait for an initial consult if they feel they need to make an important decision right away. So again, in those situations, they will be seen right up that day. In general, we offer the following services at the counseling center: individual and group therapy. We have like 8 to 10 groups per semester. We refer students to group therapy when we believe it's the best treatment approach for what they are managing. Oftentimes, a student may present with interpersonal issues, and group would be the best approach. For instance, with social anxiety, a student may be referred to group, and they may say, "Are you not listening to me? I'm very anxious in social situations, and you are going to try to get me into a group." What we have seen is that a student may be anxious that first meeting in a group, but the other group members are there to support each other, and many times they offer support in terms of what would be most helpful to you. Do you want us to ask you questions? Do you want us to let you alone until you feel comfortable talking? Do you want us to invite you in? And again, in that way, they support each other. And as a group therapist, I have seen the impact of group, how from session 1 to session 3, how much more comfortable students may feel. And certainly from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester, how incredible the change has been. And they have the opportunity to practice skills in that group therapy approach versus trying to avoid social interactions, which is many times what they're doing. So we want them to be able to practice that. So if you hear that we refer someone to group therapy, is not because it's convenient or because we can see more students in group therapy. No, it is because based on what is happening, we believe is the best treatment approach. Many times our students are feeling, I'm the only one who is experiencing this or that. And it's so helpful. What it's called universality in groups is that they see that other students are facing similar concerns, and it feels very reassuring for them. Psychiatric services is something else that we offer. I want you to know that our physicians at the health center are very skilled and experienced prescribing antidepressant and anti-anxiety medications. So regularly we refer to our physicians for those type of concerns, and we reserve the time for our one and only psychiatrist for students who may have experiences with different type of medications and are not finding relief after trying a few, or where there is need for more than one medication, or for concerns such as bipolar disorder, more complicated concerns that it would be helpful to have a psychiatrist helping them versus a regular generalist physician or a PCP. We also offer performance management consults. Those are meetings to address specific performance-related concerns such as stage fright, speaking in public, test anxiety, those type of concerns. Our sports psychology consultant is really an expert at this. If you can imagine, she helps athletes to integrate skills to perform at their best, and she adapts those similar skills to work with students who may have similar performance issues, but instead of in the sports, in the classroom. So she's excellent. As I mentioned before, emergency and urgent crisis appointment, again, students will be seen the same day, or they can use timely care. After hours on call, I also explained before that they can use Talk Now, or they can use a call our number and they will talk to a counselor on after hours or on weekends. Consultation is a service that we provide that addresses concerns that they may have about someone. So it could be a roommate, it could be a member of their sorority, fraternity, cultural organization, someone in their dorm, a family member. So we would meet with them and offer them some guidance about the best way to approach someone who may be experiencing some mental health concerns, and offer some ideas and guidance in terms of how to approach, and also how not to try to be their therapist, but how to refer. Outreach is if any group of students, say an cultural organization, group of students are interested in us presenting about different type of mental health issues, we will go to them. We ask that they complete an outreach form, and we will go and present to them. We ask that they give us 2-week notice when they complete this form, so that we can distribute all the outreach requests among all of us. And referrals, as I mentioned, Christine, the mental health services coordinator, help students with any referrals when they are not going to be seen in-house here. Very important for me to address confidentiality. Our federal and state laws are aware, as well as the ethics of our profession, prohibits us for disclosing information that is disclosed to us within a therapeutic relationship. So if parents, siblings, professor, deans, university president calls and ask for any type of information, if a faculty member refers a student here and then calls and says, did the student go, they are going to receive the same as a parent calls, they are going to respond. We cannot confirm or deny that we have seen the student. Now, obviously, if a student gives us written permission to talk to a parent, to talk to a professor, deans, etc., which at times could be really helpful, we would certainly be able to communicate. There are exceptions to confidentiality, and those are cases where there is high likelihood that a student may harm themselves or others with additional help. We then would disclose that information to make sure that the student or others who may be at risk are safe. Similarly, we would disclose if a student shares with us that a minor, an elderly person, or a person with significant disabilities are being abused. We need to protect those who cannot protect themselves. So we would make a disclosure at that time. And the last is if records are being subpoenaed by a judge. In my 26 years of experience at William & Mary, plus the additional years that I had prior to coming here, I have never been, I have never received a subpoena, so that's very unlikely, but we like to inform students as well as everyone else that those are exceptions to our confidentiality. Our staff we consider ourselves generalists with expertise in collegiate mental health. We all have training experience and commitment to work with students with diverse identities. It's one of our values and our mission to have a social justice perspective. Our staff is composed by therapists and clinicians, basically mostly psychologists, social workers, and counselors, as well as I mentioned, the psychiatrists. We have the director of performance psychologists, which I mentioned works with students with performance type of anxieties. We have the mental health services coordinator who helps students with referrals. We have doctoral interns and advanced doctoral trainees. Doctoral interns are those trainees who have actually done all their doctoral work. They may be working on their dissertation, but all their classes, all their practicum, all of that, they just need a 1 year to get a doctorate in psychology. We need a 1 year internship full-time. Some interns may do it at a hospital, at a VA, and obviously our interns have chosen to do their internship at a counseling center, given their interest in collegiate mental health. They come from different parts of the nation. This year we have someone from Maryland, someone from Texas, and one from Virginia. Our advanced doctoral trainees are finishing their doctoral classes, and they are in their 3rd or 4th year of their doctoral work. And most times after the experience this year with us, they are part-time with us, and after the year, they apply for their internship. The internship process is very competitive, so it is usually really amazing interns that we have with us. And obviously we have our support staff who are very welcoming to the students as they work in our counseling center, or as they call. As I promised, I will talk about Timely Care. So Timely Care is basically a telemental health platform that William & Mary contracted with, as well as many other universities in the nation and certainly in Virginia. So as you see that QR code on your left, if you want to take a picture of that, I would appreciate it. You can then pass it to your student. We certainly are going to show these slides to students and are going to invite them in multiple ways to register with Timely Care. Through them, they can get, again, counseling. William & Mary contracted for 12 counseling sessions per year for all our students. And they can get the Talk Now, again, reaching out to a counselor at any time. They have health coaching, so any student who wants to improve their, say, their sleep hygiene, their nutrition, smoking cessation, things like that, they have a specific health coaching services also. They do have psychiatry, but obviously they need to be also referred for those services. There is no cost for students who are full-time in-person students, as they have paid the health and wellness fee that covers the counseling center as well as Timely Care. They can go to timelycare.com/WM to see all the services that are offered through them. And please encourage them to register. As it said on the bottom of this slide, it's better to have this resource right there on your phone and not need it than to need it and don't have it. So please encourage them to register. It takes just a few minutes, and we would appreciate everyone to be able to use it if they need. So here is the end of my presentation. I want to say thank you for your attention. Congratulations to you and to your student for achieving this amazing new stage of their lives and for being admitted to William and Mary, such a selected university. So congratulations and best wishes to your student. And feel free to reach out to me at the counseling center. I'm the only Karina. So if you have any questions for me or yeah, want to consult or want to, learn more about what we do and how we do it. Thanks so much and good luck and take care. Bye.